Yes, hello world. Hello everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to the 125th Free International Webinar brought to you by the Institute of Global Professionals. So you can just imagine guys how IGP is doing fine. We are now launching the 125th Free International Webinar. So for that reason, guys, can we invite you to share your thoughts by simply typing on the comment section down below. Congratulations, IGP, for making that far. All right. Can we expect it from you guys? All right. So thank you for joining us for tonight's or today's webinar. My name is Abdul Ghafoor M. Panimbang, and currently I am an assistant professor from Adjunct Memorial Polytechnic State College. And for those who don't know yet, the Institute of Global Professional or IGP is a globally recognized professional international organization that serves students and community resources by providing a holistic social work intervention and educational programs with the purpose of producing and generating a proficient, top caliber, and skilled today's young generations by way of conducting a series of webinars and also training, both online and online platforms, backed by international prominent speakers from around the world. All right. True to its mantra, feed your skills, it is IGP's mission to empower people by enhancing the skills through learning beyond school. All right. But before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to go over a few items so that you know how you can participate and engage for tonight's or today's webinar. Our live audience for tonight or today will have a chance to ask questions from our speakers. All right. All you have to do is you simply type those questions you have in mind on the comment section down below. And we will be collecting those questions. And at the end of the seminar, we have to bring them up. So we have to display your questions on the screen so that our speakers for tonight can have a chance to read all your questions and provide their answers whenever possible. All right. And also, we will be providing a certificate of participation to all of our live audience who are in attendance tonight or today. We are providing actually to those live audience who are active participants. When we say active participants, we mean those participants who actually stick around with us, okay, from the start of this webinar down till the end of this webinar. As to how you can actually get your certificate, all you have to do is you simply find the link, all right? You simply find the link down the comment section down below and then click that one, and then after which you will be redirected to that page where you can actually download and get your certificate of participation. All right. And also, if you wish to be a member of this growing professional group, all you have to do is also you simply look for the link that will be provided in the comment section down below. You simply click that one, and then once you get there, you will see the instructions on how you can be a member of this growing international community. All right. So be among us. All right. And then to make this webinar more memorable, fun, and exciting, we will also be conducting an online quiz game competition that will be participated by all the attendees for tonight's or today's webinar. All right. So if you wish to join for that particular quiz competition, all you have to do, guys, is you simply go to slido.com. That's slido.com. All right. Using your own device and your own browser. So once you get to that page, you will see a window asking you to type the event code. All right. And then you simply type that event code Press enter and then there you go. You can now participate. However, the event code will be provided shortly before the quiz competition begins. All right? And also, guys, we would appreciate if you can actually show your support to us by promoting this webinar to your social media channels. Or you can also invite your friends by tagging their names or simply typing their names on the comment section down below so that they would also have a chance to get participated in this webinar. And for them to be also part and be a member of this uh, growing community of professionals and students. All right. All right. So, by the way, we are also delighted and we're so excited to announce that coming July 12th, our next seminar, it will be broadcasted simultaneously from our Facebook page, and also with our YouTube channel. We're so delighted to announce that we are now launching our own YouTube channel. All right, that's Institute of Global Professionals. You simply search that one in the YouTube, and then there you see a bunch of our recorded webinar. All right. And also, if for instance, if for any reason you missed something, okay, from this webinar, on account of poor connection, well, don't you worry, okay? Because we will be uploading the recorded video of this webinar on our YouTube channel. So you simply go there, you simply browse, and then keep on replaying the video, and so that you can get all the informations that you really wanted from this webinar. All right? So doesn't that make sense? All right. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, oh, before I forget, I've heard from the IGP that they are now coming up with a uh, plan to have our webinar somewhat like accredited, okay, with CDP. So time will come that your certificate will be accredited with CPD, that's Continuing Development Professionals. So isn't that really make sense? All right. I mean, IGP is really doing good for all of us. All right. So again, in reciprocating the service that IGP is providing you, all right, one way of reciprocating is by promoting this webinar, by keep on inviting your friends to also be a member of our organization, and that's IGP. All right. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are presenting a webinar entitled Project All Numerates and Assessment Tools. And this particular topic is really ideal for all students and professionals alike who would like to enhance their skills when it comes to numerical thing or mathematics. Okay, so for that reason, we managed to invite two eminent speakers who come all the way from the Philippines. We have Sir Bernardino Gomez and Sir Danilo Caicedo to join us tonight and share their thoughts, all right, on the topic project all numerates and assessment tools. All right. So without further ado, let's get dive into it. Okay. So our first speaker for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is a currently a division program supervisor. All right, an in charge coordinator of division. And at the same time, this guy has undergone numerous projects, activities, and program in mathematics. All right. And for you guys, for us to know, to get to know more about our first speaker, allow me to share this video.
Hello, good day. I am Mr. Danilo C. Caicedo, currently an Education Program Supervisor in the Division of Bataan, Philippines. Being one, I learned a lot from my leaders, colleagues, school heads, and teachers on different areas like implementing department orders, designing policies, giving technical assistance on pedagogies, constructing assessments, and many other related programs and projects. Recently, we worked on integrative performance output, which is part of the academic is and under the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. What I am going to share with you are the best practices in mathematics that we have been through during this time of pandemic. I will also share with you other related research-based activities. Hope that you will keep tuning in as I discuss and reveal these important matters that you may adopt in your classes and could be the basis of giving technical assistance.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, here to share his brilliant ideas on the topic best practices in math. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sir Danilo Caicedo. Sir, welcome to our webinar. It's so good to have you here, sir. Hello, sir. Can you guys tell me if you can hear our first speaker?
Hello.
Okay. Oh, you're on, sir.
Okay. So, good evening, good day. Uh, I am that nervous today because this is my first time to be with on an international platform like this one. So I am very thankful to IGP for having this opportunity. Okay, so I will be given 40 minutes to discuss my topic. Okay, sir, can I start?
Yes, sure, sir. You can actually share your screen now because I
Okay.
do believe our participants can hardly wait for your presentation.
Yes. So uh, we will be starting with, say, let me see, share screen. Wait a minute. Okay. So we will start with using a short quiz, 10-minute quiz using Kahoot. So,
All right.
okay. Our step one will be in your browser, you type in kahoot.it. Okay. And then if you have done that, I think you can start now. For step two, type the game pin that I'll be giving you later after this slide. For step three, it will be the time for you to press enter. For step four, you write your nickname or your name. And then the last step will be clicking OK, go. Okay? Right? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Our game pin is, just wait, it's revealing. Game pin is, yes, 4922993. So I'll be waiting on this platform. How many can join? Again, the game pin is 4922993. Ella is here. First to enter is Ella. Abby. Che. Grace. Len. Okay. The number is increasing. Okay. How many? 21 right now. Okay. I think we can start. Okay. This is Enjoyable, I think. We are 52 in this screen right now. Okay, I
So
think we can start.
yes, we are so impressed with the level of engagement of our live audience.
Okay, the first question is, if 1 equals 3, 2 equals 3, 3 equals 5, 4 equals 4, 5 equals 4, then 6 is equal to what? Just click triangle, diamond, circle, or square. Okay, the answer is 3. 6.
All right.
So why? 3 letters. 6 has 3 letters. S-I-X. So that's simple as that one. Next one. Second question. Nobody get correct? What number is found under the car? Time is up. The answer is 87. Why? The numbers are just inverted. 86, 87, 88, 89, something like that. So, third question. Okay, my scores. We have scores here. Third question. I am an odd number. Take away one letter and I become even. What number am I? Okay. 51 answers keyed in. The answer is 7. If you remove S, then it will become even. Okay. Next. Leading, Egla. Next. Your parents have 6 sons, including you, and each son has 1 sister. How many people are in the family? Time is up. The answer is 9. Okay, 7. As simple as that one. Okay, next question. Leading Pamida. Next question, 51. If 3 cats can catch 3 bunnies in 3 minutes, how long will it take 100 cats to catch 100 bunnies? $71 keyed in. The answer is 18. Okay. See, Pamela leads this time. Next question. How many numbers do you see here? Okay, 61 keyed in. The answer is 10. Pamela again. Next question. What should replace the question mark symbol? There it is. All right, 73 3 keyed in, the answer is 96. Okay. Next question. How tall is the table? Right. The answer is 150. Yeah. Okay. So, what will you do? Cap plus table minus turtle. The other one is turtle plus table minus the cap. You'll get 300. 2 tables equal to 300. Then divided by 2, it will become 150. Okay. Next. Scoreboard. Pamela is still on the lead. 9th question. Suppose 1 plus 9 plus 8 equals 1. Then what can be 2 plus 8 plus 9? The answer is 10. Simple as the first letter. 1 O, 9 N, 8 E. So it's O and E, it's 1. For 2 plus 8 plus 9, T plus 8 E for 8 and N for 9, so it's 10. Let's see. Let's have the last question. Scoreboard. Gemma is now the leading player. The last question. How many eggs can you put in an empty basket of 2 meter by 2 meter size? The answer is 1. If you put 1, then the basket is no longer empty. Okay. So sometimes questions in math are not that formal, not that difficult, but just needs immediate, call that thinking, quick thinking. Okay, so let me see. The winner, Mav, not yet. Third, Pamela, second. And the first one is Gemma. Congratulations, Ma'am Gemma. Okay. Okay. Will you please type your full name there in the chat box, and then your division, your school, your country. Congratulations, Ma'am Gemma. Congratulations, Ma'am Pamela and Mav. I remembered a post in FB wherein the happiest among the three, the happiest player among the three is number 3. Okay, so that is all about the introduction of this presentation. Let us go back to my PowerPoint presentation. Okay.
I hope they enjoyed your online quiz, sir.
I hope also,
very,
sir.
Very interactive and fun.
Yes, they enjoyed it.
Yes.
They're thinking of difficult solution, but it's not that type.
Yes.
Right.
Only to find out that that is just a tricky question.
Yeah.
They don't need to do competition. They only have to see on the question and then analyze immediately.
Yes, sir. Correct. Let me go back to my presentation. So today, I'll be sharing with you the result of our action in DepEd Region 3, especially, of course, in mathematics. But before that, let me share to you the result of Filipino learners during the Pisa examination. Okay.
Filipino students lag behind other countries in the International Assessment for Mathematics and Science for grade 4. This is what the Trends in International Mathematics and Science Study 2019 revealed on Tuesday, December 8. The Philippines only scores 297 in mathematics and 249 in science, which are significantly lower than any other participating country. The country also scores the lowest among all 58 participating countries for both tests. Singapore tops both assessments in grade 4 mathematics and science, 625 and 595 respectively. In mathematics, only 19% of Filipino students are on the low benchmark, which means that they had some basic mathematical knowledge, while 81% did not even reach this level. As for science, 13% of Filipino students were also on the low benchmark, which means they had limited understanding of scientific concepts and limited knowledge of foundational science facts, while 87% did not even reach this level.
Okay, so the video that we have recently viewed does not definitely mean to magnify the result, but to be open to the reality and be vigilant of the things that have to be done to at least improve the performance for the next assessment. I know that we all agree that getting an improved performance is not that easy. It cannot be improved overnight. Improving in this case needs time to carefully select the activity or program to be done. Definitely, there should be no stopping. At our end, the group of education program supervisors of 20 divisions, together with our regional math supervisor, immediately convened and shared thoughts and ideas about the Philippines' performance in the program for international student assessment, or what we call Pisa, especially in mathematics. As we go deeper, as we analyze the video, the Philippines scored 297 in math, while Singapore scored 625 in the same subject. Take note also that 19% of the students are on the low benchmark on having basic mathematical knowledge. Take note, only basic mathematical knowledge. Therefore, 81%, that's a bigger percentage, of our takers are not even in the low benchmark on having basic mathematical knowledge. Being Filipinos, we are greatly affected by this result. Am I right? Why not? Whether we accept it or not, the fact is we are part of the system. So everybody is accountable for the result. But Filipinos are noble fighters. We do not let it end that way. Region 3 answered the challenge. We launched a project and we called it Project All Numerates, or Project UN. So what is this about? What is this about? Project All Numerates, or Project UN, improves numeracy skills of all learners from grade 1 to grade 7, thus improving learning outcomes with the aid of intervention programs and best practices, as you will see later on. Okay. The purpose is to provide the numeracy level of grade 1 to grade 7 learners. The second objective, identify strengths and weaknesses in students' understanding, so changes in teaching strategies and instruction deliveries can be made to address these weaknesses. Our project, the project that we have developed, is a criterion reference test. We considered our developed project Bataan as a criterion reference test. Why? Because it is designed to measure students' performance against a fixed set of predetermined criteria, and this uses test score to judge students. Okay. Now here's the process flow. How did we develop this project all numerates? Step 1. In this step, the construction of the assessment tool. In this step, our group composed of 20 education program supervisors together with their respective master teachers met online to plan for the test construction. The group was evenly subdivided into 7 subgroups. Every group has assigned grade level to develop. We base our question this time from the available most essential learning competencies, or what we call MELC. The questions format were mostly based on Pisa styles of questioning. I think that's one of the problems. Why we got low performance as our result. Here comes step number 2, the pilot testing of the material for standardization. The developed testing tool was distributed to schools for pilot testing. Online learners were given the priority to take the test. Okay. For step 3, this covers the crafting of guidelines and policies in the conduct of the assessment. This covers the revision of questionnaires as the suggestion result of the pilot testing. Then, the regional memorandum was issued for this purpose of conducting the pretest of PAN in all 20 divisions. For step 4, project all numerates pretest administration. Different online platforms were used, but majority of the schools adopted modular approach following the distribution and retrieval scheme, and of course observing the interagency task force IATF strict rules. Okay, I'll show you the result of the pretests. Let me see. Okay, so the number of takers on the record, 483,986 learners. It's a big number. For the pretest, we recorded 53,957 non-numerates. So we concentrate on non-numerates. Okay, that's a big number also. 53,000 is 957. It's very far. It's a big number. And that is equivalent to 11 and 1500% non-numerates during the pretest. Okay, let me go back. For step 5. So here comes step 5. For program project planning, for numeracy improvement through different interventions that we considered best practices. I'll show you later how. After almost 5 months of conducting, 4 to 5 months of conducting interventions, programs, all divisions administered the post-test following the recommendations for easy delivery of materials and retrieval of test results. Let me show you the result of the post-test as a result of having interventions. Okay, look. Number of takers on the record, 483,986. Number of non-numerates during the post-test after the interventions, 7,000 from 53,000. It became 7,875. And that is approximately 1.63%. 1.63%. So, from 11 point something percent down to 1.63%. You'll be wondering how, why. Okay. For the performance review, let's just compare first. So the pre and post test result of Project All Numerates. Yan. As you can see, we have the number of takers, learners on the record, 483,986. Non-numerates for the pre-test, 53,957. And non-numerates after the interventions, after the post-test, now it became 7,875. And I know if it's not pandemic, this will be reduced because, face-to-face is far more better than this situation. Okay, so there's a big difference of 9 and 5200%. See? Okay. So, we go back to the process flow. In step 8, yes, there is an impact of what we have done in our region, Region 3, headed by our Regional Education Program Supervisor, Dr. Nestor P. Nuesca. Later, I'll show you one video presentation in one division, and that is from the division of Pampanga, also in the Philippines, of course. And before that, let me show you our interventions. We consider these interventions as best practices also. Okay, the first one is project response. Project response. According to it's just one of the schools in Dinalupihan, Bataan. Okay, resiliency through engaged and informed stakeholders and parent learning facilitators in overcoming new normal by utilizing several online, offline aided instructional materials resulting to empowered learners. So few pictures are shown from Dinalupihan Elementary School. Okay. Next, programs. From Bagong Sikat Elementary School, this is from Nueva Ecija. Project DMS, or Developing Mathematical Skills. Not all learners are proficient in 4 fundamental operations, yes. It's a fact. But for this one, for this project, Developing Mathematical Skills, they have this nearly and non-numerates result before the intervention, 67, after the intervention, for non-numerates, 16. After the intervention, it became from 67 became 48, and for non-numerates, from 16, it became 2. So there is a big improvement, of course. Another project is Project 3N. Nababasa, can read, nakasusulat, can write, nakabibilang, can count. Okay, so Project 3N. The result, we have the same target objective: develop skills in reading and writing numbers, improve skills in problem solving, improve their skills in solving for Fs, strengthen learning interest and motivation. So there is also a big difference, especially to non-numerates. Before, it's 18, and after the intervention, no more. It became 0. From Kinaragan Elementary School in Limay, Bataan, pakikipagsapalaran sa pagbabahagi ng karunungan. Para it's equivalent to risking lives just to share knowledge. Okay, so despite of pandemic, the parents, teachers, and also neighbors can be a bridge to have quality education. Okay, so of course the objectives: increase number of numerates. That's the terminal objective. And non-numerate 77, it became 14. So there is also an improvement. From Carbon Elementary School, also from Limay, Bataan, Project SOPAD, interventions, the action of becoming intentionally involved in a difficult situation. Okay, so my improvement, there is also improvement from during the pretest, the result of the pretest, and then after the interventions, still there is the improvement. On-off math project. This is from Nueva Ecija. Okay. So, non-numerates, 0. Good. Non-numerates also 0. But for nearly numerates, 277. And after the intervention, it became 12. Okay. We have also here, guro ako ng kapitbahay ko. That means I am a teacher of my neighbor. Okay, that is possible, of course, during this time of pandemic. And that's what happened in this school, in Maligaya Elementary School. Next, Project Math Clinic. Our picture showed the implementation of the project. Project Math Clinic is a school-based teaching strategy or approach of building the necessary prerequisite skills of low-performing grade 1 to grade 6 pupils in mathematics. So from Sapang, Kawayan Elementary School. So there is also improvement. We also have this Project Bilang from Gabaldon Elementary School. In English, we have Project Count. Okay? So there it is. There is also an improvement. Project Kapamilya Ko, Guro Ko. In English, members of the family, my teachers. My teachers, my teacher. Okay? So, is there improvement? Before, it's 16. After, it became 0. Right? So, another project. Project Acquired Knowledge Through the Assistance of Parents. Okay? So, also, Project ACAP, Acquired Knowledge Through the Assistance of Parents. So these are just the things that are possible to be done during this time of pandemic. And I know it's not only Philippines, not only learners in the Philippines are experiencing this pandemic. I think all countries are not exempted from doing this one, for having this one. So, interventions happened, from grade 1 to grade 6. So let's have interventions, best practices for grade 7. So because the Project All Numerates has been given to learners from grade 1 to grade 7 only. Title, Project Numero. In English, Project Number. Numeracy enrichment through printed and online intervention. So, what else? This is also from Nueva Ecija. Project Sumustahan, using Zoom, online platform, to instruct, to teach, to monitor, to follow up. Project, Pagbilang Project, Counting Project, a strategic intervention for students with numeracy difficulties. Also, Project Kasamat. Okay. Project Clean. The objective of this project was to help pupils who have had difficulties in 4 fundamental operations. Okay. So, let me show you one of the best presentations of having Project All Numerates, starting from the pre-implementation, during implementation, and after implementation. Let me see.
Project All Numerates is a project that aims to improve the numeracy skills of all learners across grade levels and improve learning outcomes in mathematics with the aid of intervention programs and best practices that highly promote sustainable quality instruction of the K-12 curriculum. Project All Numerates is undertaken every school year in all public schools in Region 3 Central Luzon to monitor the numeracy skills acquired by learners from grades 1 to 7 and develop instructional strategies and intervention approaches to develop and improve students' level of numeracy. Despite the closure of schools and adoption of distance learning, developing learners' numeracy skills is still a priority. However, because of the absence of face-to-face instruction, the implementation of Project AN is different from the previous academic years. With the leadership of DepEd Pampanga's Education Program Supervisor in Mathematics, Dr. Jane P. Valencia, series of meetings and consultations with the 33 district math representatives were conducted to discuss mechanisms in implementing the project in distance learning. Elementary schools in the division were given leeway on deciding the most appropriate method in administering the all numerates test, considering their unique context and situation. However, obtaining reliable test results should be the common goal. Test tools were distributed during the distribution of modules. In some cases, teachers conducted home visitation to hand the test tools to learners whose parents or guardians failed to come to school. Here are some of the methods used by teachers in administering all numerates tests. Household partners were given orientation on the proper administration of the test and asked them to facilitate its administration at home. Teachers relied on learners' and parents' honesty. As a way of monitoring, household partners with internet and digital gadgets were asked to take videos of their children while taking the test. For some, the test was facilitated by teachers virtually using the available video conferencing tool such as Google Meet, Zoom, and the like. During the administration, learners were asked to open their cameras for monitoring. After the administration of Project All Numerates pretest, 54% of our elementary learners were identified as numerates. 37% are nearly numerates, and 9% are non-numerates. Here are the results of Project All Numerates by grade level. Even a pandemic will not stop our Kapampangan teachers to think of innovative ways to help our learners, especially those who lag behind in mathematics. Here are just some of the innovative projects and programs that our teachers implemented in the new normal in education. Project games, or get active in mathematics exercises. This project integrated technology in developing the numeracy levels of learners in the new normal, such as giving review tests through a Google form, conducting online classes for nearly and non-numerates, making video lessons available to learners online and offline by distributing USB drive, sending interactive assessment using Kahoots, which is in a form of a game that learners can enjoy doing while learning. Project Matechnique, an intervention that aims to motivate struggling pupils by using math applications or mobile games to develop automaticity in 4 Fs. My Nanay Tatay, My Mathanic Body. It aims to strengthen the close family ties by engaging the parents in the different school activities. Teachers sent additional math enrichment activities to parents that the latter used in guiding their children at home. A problem a day or APAD, and a problem a week or APAW. During this pandemic, activity sheets were sent through Messenger, Google Meet, or distributed in hard copies. Project OOADH, or One Operation a Day Habit. This is a 5-minute math drill, either through the use of window cards or flashcards, that is provided to learners before the start of the lesson and is reflected in the weekly home learning plan. Project Gabay, Guide in Administering Basic Reading and Numeracy Lessons for Adult and Youth. Through this project, video lessons intended for non-numerates were made by select math teachers. Paper plate clock. Students were asked to make clocks using a paper plate and will write different numbers on its edge. The hands of the clock will determine which numbers will be added, subtracted, multiplied, and divided. House-to-house remedial classes. For learners without means of communication, teachers conducted home visitation for intervention classes. Here are the other intervention programs and innovations that elementary schools in the division implemented. Project Combo, Comprehension Before Operation. Project PALS, or Peer Assisted Learning Strategies. Project MT1, Math Tutorial for 1 hour. Project Tribis, Bawat Bata Bumibilang. Project Simatar, or Supervised Individual Monitoring Authenticity of Test and Accuracy of Results. Number Bank, Project Matuto. Project PMN, Practice Makes Numerate. Math Apps. Project for Fun. Project Pamilang, o Pamilyang Sama-samang Nagbibilang. Project AKAP, or Anak, Kumusta ang Pagbibilang. Project Mom, Mentoring and Memorizing. Project Dad, Drill a Day. My Body Clock. As a result of the implementation of various intervention programs and innovations amidst the pandemic, an increase in the percent of numerates was recorded after the administration of COSTES from 57% to 71%. Moreover, decreases in the percent of nearly numerates and non-numerates were also recorded from 37% to 28% and from 9% to 2% respectively.
Okay, so isn't it overwhelming? That's just one of the 20 divisions that has presented the video. So we still have 19, and if there is a big increase of numerates and decrease of non-numerates, so that is something that we have to be proud of. Region 3, especially in the Department of Mathematics, for Sir and Dr. Nestor P. Nuesca for the initiative, and for the 20 education program supervisors who supported him for this journey. Okay, before I end, let me share to you this quote from Larry Martinek. Children don't hate math. What they hate is being confused, intimidated, and embarrassed by math. With understanding comes passion, and with passion comes growth. A treasure is unlocked. Okay, so before I end, also I would like to thank, of course, Sir Nestor Nuesca, the 20 Division Education Program Supervisors. A special mention to Dr. Jane Valencia, the owner of the video from Division of Pampanga, from Ma'am Winnie Poli, the Education Program Supervisor of Nueva Ecija, Sir Sani De Leon, our president in our association, and of course DepEd Bataan, headed by our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Roland M. Fronda, for the opportunity of presenting this result of Project All Numerates. So thank you. Ready for your queries, for questions?
All right. All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Our first speaker, Sir Bernardino Gomez. Sir, on behalf of IGP, we would like to express our hearty thanks and appreciation for sharing us such a very informative and substantial presentation. All right. But first and foremost, we would like to commend you for sharing us your interactive game. I'm pretty sure our live audience really enjoyed playing it along with. All right.
Thank you.
However, we are saddened to know about the reality that the Philippines is lagging behind in terms of numeracy skills as compared to other Asian countries. But on the other hand, we are so relieved that you are now doing an initiative or interventions in responding to that particular issue. We appreciate showing us all those projects that you have undergone actually in responding to that issue with the purpose of uplifting and enhancing the numeracy skills of our students, because it's really so sad to know that that's a reality. I think it was done with the research, and I think that's
Mhm.
quite reliable. All right. So, sir, thank you for sharing all those best practices,
Yes.
and I hope other countries, other nations from other countries are also watching us tonight, and then for sure they're also experiencing the same. And so, what is good about showing those videos is that they can actually replicate whenever possible. Okay, if they are
Yes. Yes,
experiencing
sir.
the
I think
same, then
I think this is also the this is timely and an opportunity for us Filipinos to
yes,
of course to ask help from top notchers from countries who are top notchers like Singapore. I think Singapore is one of the members of this group IGP. I have seen the banner, the flag of
yeah,
Singapore.
yes,
I
sir.
think someday we ask for their help or why did they perform such that one. So we're waiting for that.
Okay, I think Singapore is kind enough to share
Yes,
also the
yes.
best practices. There's no wrong in
We,
sharing best practices, all right?
yes.
Because that's a
Mhm.
good practice. I mean, when you are sharing the best practices, you are showing to the whole world how can you are, all right? Because we can when you keep on sharing knowledge, and it will keep on expanding as compared to the wealth. When you give out wealth, and it keeps on decreasing as compared to knowledge. That when you keep on sharing your knowledge, it will keep on expanding and enhancing. All right.
Yes.
So I think, sir, do expect that tonight we will be bombarded with lots of questions from our live audience, because a bunch of our audience are from the Philippines. And for
Yes.
sure, they will be asking you a question like, sir, what DeepId so far is doing right now? That's a reality. We are faring from, I mean, in terms of numeracy skills, we're lagging behind. So what is DeepId is doing right now? And then what could be the possible reasons why our students are, lagging behind in terms of mathematics performance? I think those are the possible questions that will come
Yes.
out
Yes. 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 We
later
agree.
on.
Mm-hmm.
So again, ladies and gentlemen, join me in thanking our first speaker, Sir Danilo Caicedo. All right, and he will be joining us again later on for the question and answer segment. Again,
Yes.
thank you so much, sir, for sharing your brilliant ideas about the topic Project All Numerates and Assessment Tools.
Okay.
All right,
Welcome. Thank you very much. Also.
no problem, sir. All right, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move right along. But before that, I want to keep our live audience engaged, all right, by simply typing on the comment section down below, how do you feel about the first presentation, all right, especially among our Filipino live audience. This is the kind of issue that's really, affecting, especially our students. So do prepare for your questions, okay? You can just type your questions down the comment section below, so we could bring them up later on as we paving the way for our question and answer segment. And also, kindly share us your thoughts about our webinar for tonight. All right, how do you feel about our webinar? Questions like, did you learn something? Do you find it engaging? Are you enjoying yourselves? All right, so please leave us a comment down below. All right, we're so happy to read all your comments. Excuse me, in the comment section down below. Sorry for that. All right, so let's get move right along with our second speaker for tonight's or today's webinar. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I would like to introduce to you our second speaker for today's or tonight's webinar. Our second speaker, what is happening to me? Our second speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is a master teacher too. All right. He is currently a regional trainer and at Region 3, representative of the National Standard Assessment Tools in Mathematics, and that made him so relevant for tonight's webinar. But to get us to know more about him, ladies and gentlemen, Join me in watching this video.
Our speaker is a master teacher too at Camachiles National High School. He completed his academic requirements for Doctor of Philosophy in Mathematics Education at Philippine Normal University. Served as a speaker in various regional, division, and cluster level of trainings and seminars. A 2018 regional qualifier finalist in Search for Brightest Star, Science Teacher Academy for the region. Likewise, he is a 2014 Regional Outstanding Teacher in Division of Mabalacat City. Also, a Math Coach Awardee in Division Regional up to International level, and a licensed financial advisor. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bernardino G. Gomez.
Hello.
All right, so
Hello,
there you go,
ma'am.
ladies and
Good evening to all
gentlemen.
of you.
Yes, sir.
Let me share my
Yes, sir.
presentation.
Okay, proceed, sir.
I cannot
The floor is yours
share.
now.
I cannot share set because there is still. I want to share. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay, so there you go, sir. We're now seeing your slides on the screen. So you're good to go, sir.
okay.
By the way, our second speaker, Sir Bernardo Gomez,
Yes.
will discuss about crafting Pisa assessment tool. All right? Okay, so there you go, ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen. Sir Bernardino Gomez, our second speaker for tonight's webinar, to share with us his knowledge on crafting PISA assessment in mathematics. There you go.
Hello, good evening to everyone. Maya pabengi po, kaya kayo in Kapampangan. Magandang gabi in Tagalog. So hope everybody are safe while watching this webinar. To start with, I would like to thank first the Institute of Global Professional for giving me this kind of opportunity and be part for this webinar. It is an honor on my part to be one of your speakers, and God willing, I will able to share some of our practices when it comes in designing an effective assessment, especially in crafting some PISA assessment in mathematics. So again, I'm Bernardino G. Gomez, a public junior high school teacher at Camachiles National High School, DepEd Division of Mabalacat City, Region 3. So before I will continue my talk, I would like to thank the following persons who helped me in this presentation. First, I would like to thank our Regional Education Supervisor in Mathematics, Dr. Nestor Nuesca, our Division Superintendent, Dr. Erickson S. Sabacan, our Assistant School Division Superintendent, Dr. Leandro Sicanlas, together with our two Division Chief, Dr. Elizabeth Latorilla of CID and Dr. Roger Nuki of SGOD. Likewise, with our Division Education Supervisor in Mathematics, Sir Angelito S. Cabrera, together with Ma'am Lilian G. Lacanlale, our OIC PSDS in Cluster 4. And of course, the two persons who always support me in our school, Dr. Arlene C. Vidal, our principal, and Ma'am Mary Ann D. Agrano, our head teacher. So our main objective in this webinar is to share our practices, especially in our school, in designing an effective assessment with crafting PISA assessment in math. We know earlier, as mentioned by our one of our speakers, that PISA report based on the performance in math is quite low compared to other countries. That's why we decided to pattern our assessment in our school and be able to craft some PISA assessment in mathematics. So what is PISA assessment in mathematics? So according to the Center for Global Education PISA, or what we call the PISA, it is the Program for International Student Assessment. It is an assessment that measures the critical thinking in math to 15 years old student. The assessment do not measure memorization. of facts, but rather demand that students draw knowledge on the different problem solving. It is the apples to apples comparison. Researchers believe that high ranking on Pisa correlates to economic success. Thus, they include that Pisa is one indicator of whether the school system are preparing students for the global knowledge economy of the 21st century. According to National Center for Education, or the NCES, PISA may be a little different from some assessment students have seen before because it focuses on the application and knowledge with real problems. It is designed with some easier questions and some more difficult ones so that researcher can learn about the range of students' skills. Some PISA questions require that you select from a set of provided answers. There are multiple choice. So other questions require you to write out a response, or sometimes you need to write a response. With this kind of assessment, students will be able to apply their knowledge and skills in solving problems in mathematics, especially in financial literacy and collaborative problem solving. With this purpose of PISA, our region and division conducted different webinars regarding designing an effective different assessment that will focus on the application of skills and knowledge and present students with real-life problems. Indeed, our assessment in the Philippines, as what we know today, it focuses on the authentic assessment and performance task assessment where students apply their knowledge and skills in solving math problems. So that's why this promotes a higher order thinking skills. Thus, it is an imperative to know how to develop an assessment that is higher order thinking skills. So the first thing we will going to do first is, before we will proceed to the crafting of PISA, is we will going to develop first, or how do we develop a what we call an effective assessment? Because an effective assessment, once we know how to develop them, then that is the time we can craft assessment from the PISA. So let us start. In making an effective assessment, according to Ma'am Marilyn Balagtas, one of our speakers that we have during the seminars in making an higher order thinking skills, it is she is a writer and a university professor of Philippine Normal University. An effective assessment has the following guiding principles. First, its validity. The test should be designed and used for its purpose. Typically, assessments were explicitly designed to measure students' achievement. It is intended for learning outcomes, and all learning outcomes were summatively assessed. Second is what we call the reliability. The test should produce consistent results across time and forms and regardless of checkers. The third is what we call the fairness. So the purpose of the test should be known to the students, gender and culture free, and should have positive consequences. So every student deserves what we call an equal opportunity to demonstrate what she or she understands, knows, and can do. Another is the utility. So the test should be used to improve learning and aid in decision making. So the main purpose of the assessment is to develop learning skills of the student. Next is the practicality. The test should be with ease in administration and scoring. So it must be easy to design, easy to administer, and easy to score. Another is authenticity. The test should simulate real-life context. So later we will focus on the authenticity of the assessment. So authentic assessment is where students thoroughly apply their acquired skills to a new situation or environment, especially in this time of pandemic. And of course, the last but not the least is the balance. The test should be balanced in difficulty. it must be suitable to all type of learners within their level. So these are the what we call the guiding principles when making an assessment. Now, generally, the process in developing an effective assessment is quite laborious, and I think we know that, no, all the teachers, once we are making a what we call an effective assessment, we follow different stages. So it is quite laborious and undergo different steps. At what we see here in our diagram, so the first step is design framework. Then identify the competencies. After knowing the competencies to be included, the next step is develop and review the TOS. So later we will have a different kind of TOS, or what we call the table of specification. So the purpose of the TOS is to determine how tests will be designed in terms of their authenticity and difficulty. Then that is the time we write the item based on their authenticity. Validate the assessment is the next step, so that if ever there are items or questions that we need to revise, so we can revise them, or sometimes we are deleting them. That is the time that we can pilot the test after we validate. So then we can now pilot and analyze the result, and of course determine its reliability. Then revision will follow if needed. Then finally, after, if it is okay, then we can now establish the reliability. But if it is not, then we go back and revise if it is needed. So finally, we can now use them for the test in its purpose. So this is the usually steps that we follow in making an effective assessment. Now, according to a teacher guide to a Bloom's taxonomy, so the Bloom's taxonomy is a series of cognitive. I think this is very familiar to all teachers, because every time we have our seminars, we are studying this. So Bloom's taxonomy was designed as a way of estimating competence by placing a student knowledge on one of the 6 levels, which often represented visually in the form of a pyramid. Its levels is categorized, if you ask what we observed here, from lower order thinking skills up to higher order thinking skills. So as an educators became more experienced in using this taxonomy, so they utilize it with ever-increasing flexibility. That's why there was a what we call a revised Bloom's taxonomy. They work to make the tool more dynamic conceptually, moving away from the one-dimensional level of educational objectives. So in this revised taxonomy on the left, on the right side, so by Anderson and Crowell, so nouns were replaced by much more action. That's why here we are now using the verb to reflect the idea that learning is not just a passive acquisition, but an engaged, active participation. In addition, we can see that the evaluation before was now replaced as creating as the highest form of learning. From evaluation, now we are on the creating. So before, the assessment only focused on skills requiring. But now, we are now on what we call skills in producing. That's why we are now more focused on the performance tasks of our students. So another part of the revised Bloom's taxonomy was the what we call the knowledge dimension. I think some of the schools are already using this. It represents a range from concrete, factual to abstract, or the what we call metacognitive. It differentiates between knowing what, the contrast, the content thinking, and knowing how the procedure used in the solving problem. So it has 4 categories. The first one is what we call the factual, or usually there are terminologies. Then the second is the conceptual, or the conceptual knowledge of classification, principles, generalization, theories, models, and structures. So the next is the procedural. It involves knowledge of subject, specific skills, and algorithm. And of course, the metacognitive, where these are self-knowledge, strategic knowledge, contextual and conditional knowledge of cognitive tasks. So later, we will going to apply them in making an effective assessment that we can use to craft the Pisa assessment in mathematics. So assessment, if you will going to analyze where effective and authentic as the categories of knowledge dimension increases. So from factual to metacognitive, we can say that the assessment is more effective. Now, one way to make an effective assessment is of course is we need to develop a good what we call TOS, or the table of specification. If we recall, one of the process in developing an effective assessment is, of course, once your TOS is well developed. First, decide there are certain things that we need to consider. First is decide on the format of the assessment table of specification. We can use either one-way or two-way format of TOS. So usually in our school, we are using the two-way TOS format. Then second is we need to indicate that the specification of the test in the TOS to include its framework and appropriate competencies. Then the next thing is we need to include the test format, the number of placement, and the percentage of items. We know sometimes we give 1 point to this type of questions. Then on the other type of questions, we assign 3 points. So it depends on the difficulty of the test item. Then review the constructed TOS if all the details are correctly placed based on the test framework. So this is an example of the TOS that we develop in our school and even in the region. So this is our sample. If you will going to observe, the TOS items were categorized based on the level of behaviors and knowledge dimension. This will guide the teacher on what type of questions he or she will construct in order to attain maximum learning on the different competencies covered within allotted of time. As you see, the questions were categorized from factual remembering to creating metacognitive. Likewise, its categories questions have a what we call corresponding number of points due to its difficulty level. Mostly under, if you observe here, so under remembering and understanding, we gave 1 point only. So while on the applying and analyzing, we give 2 points. And of course, under the evaluating and creating, so we give 3 points. So if you look at, these are the levels that we have. Then this is a sample of assessment that we are using in our school. So some of the questions here were crafted in the Pisa. So wherein some are multiple choice and some have, or some questions need a corresponding response. So questions were based on the categorized levels of behaviors and knowledge dimension. So here, we follow this in making an effective assessment. So observe that in the table of specification, as I mentioned earlier, there are 24 boxes. So each box represents the level of behavior and knowledge dimension. The higher the level of behavior and knowledge, the dimension, the authenticity. So the box 1, it represents here the least authentic assessment. While going to box 24, it is considered the most authentic form of assessment. So later, I will give you an examples. These were also examples that were given during the seminars that we have. And I will share to you. So let us have some examples on how we develop an authentic assessment. So supposing in the box 4, we can write here the questions, Daniela bought 6 ripe and 5 ripe unripe mangoes. So how many ripe mangoes did she buy? So in this problem, if you were going to look at it, it is under the remembering and metacognitive. Now, if we want to increase its authenticity, so we can use this question. So Daniela bought 6 ripe and 5 unripe mangoes. Which is more ripe? More ripe or unripe mangoes? In this problem or in these questions, if you will going to look at this, it is more authentic compared to the first one. Why? Because it is under the understand and metacognitive. Now, if we want to increase more its authenticity, so we can use the box 12 wherein we can use the apply at the same time metacognitive. The questions can be, Daniela bought 6 ripe and 5 unripe mangoes. So how many mangoes did she buy? So here the students will going to apply the principle of additions of integers or numbers. Okay. Then we can again increase its authenticity by using this question. So Daniela bought 6 ripe and 5 unripe mangoes today. She bought 7 mangoes yesterday. So how many mangoes did she buy in all? So here, the students will going to analyze, and at the same time, it involves metacognitive. Then of course, to make it more authentic, so we can use Daniela bought 6 ripe and 5 unripe mangoes. Yesterday, she bought 4 mangoes. The total mangoes she bought is 14. Do you agree? Why? So here, the students will going to evaluate. At the same time, it is a combination of metacognitive. So the student now will going to evaluate the questions. Then he will going to determine if the answer is correct or not based on the given number here, which is 14, because they will he or she will going to explain if the 14 is correct or not. And of course, the most authentic assessment that we can use using this format of test is the box 24. So you can write this question in a form, you want to buy fruit at this store. So what are these and their total? Now, if you were going to look at the questions, how the different questions, okay? So in the first, if you were going to analyze, it only involves addition of integers, okay? But we can make the questions more authentic by using the different process of dimension, the cognitive process of dimension and the knowledge dimension. So let us have another example. So let us determine which is more authentic form of questions. For number 1, this is the question. So what is 10 plus 20? This type of questions require the learner to add only. So thus, it is under add, apply, procedural. Now, while number 2, Daniela bought bread worth 20 pesos and pineapple juice worth 10 pesos. So how much did Daniela spend for her snacks? If you were going to compare number 1 and number 2, which do you think is more authentic? Of course, the number 2, isn't it? Even though they have the same choices, still the number 2 is more authentic. The reason for this, because aside from you will going to add, so you need to solve, you need to apply, analyze, then it is also under procedural and metacognitive. So let us further increase the authenticity of this question. So recall, this is the problem number 2. So we can still increase this authenticity by using the number 3 questions. In this number 3, after your online class, you bought a bread worth 20 pesos and pineapple juice worth 10 pesos. So how much did you spend for your snacks? So here, if you will going to observe, aside from it is add, solve, analyze, procedural, metacognitive, have you noticed it is personal? So most of the time, a question became personal, thus it makes a more authentic form of question. So it is a personal on the part of the students. That's why in the module, have you noticed that most of the modules are in a form of personal. So for number 3 again, so for number 3, even it is personal, we can still make it more authentic by what we call using a bilingual. So here, I think this is intended for primary. So the question is like this. Tapos na ang online class nyo, kaya bumili ka ng tinapay sa halagang 20 pesos at pinya juice sa halagang 10 pesos. So magkano lahat ang ginastos mo? This question is more authentic in primary levels where learners were taught using mother tongue. So adding multilingual questions in primary level can increase the authenticity of the questions. So to make it more authentic, so aside from adding it, using a multilingual, so we can use the question number 4, wherein the question is like this. After your online class, you bought blank, worth blank, and blank, worth blank. So how much did you spend for your snacks? So here, the learner will provide data based on how or she understand the problem and need to solve the questions based on the data provided. So this question is under what we call, aside from it is add, solve, so it is under creating. And we know creating is the highest form of learning. So aside from that, it is apply, analyze, procedural, and metacognitive. And it is also personal. That's why it is considered more authentic because the student will create their own number here. Now, to make it more authentic, then we can use the number 5. So these questions look like this. Construct your own word problem involving addition of full numbers and show your solution. So at this point, it is considered as an extended form of question, where learners will create their own problem and, of course, show the solution of their answer. So again, this is under creating, and it is in the extended form of creating. So even number 4 and number 5 are both in the form, in the highest form, which is creating. So number 5 is more authentic compared to number 4 because here the students will create his own form of question, and of course they will going to answer. So once the student will able to create, isn't it that is the highest form of learning to our student? So do you agree with that, my dear co-teachers? Now another type of assessment, and as of now, we are studying this in the national, is an assessment form that we use in our school. We use the what we call the assessment based on how students answer a question. So usually, these questions were crafted from the Pisa competencies. So these questions were validated until now. As of now, there are some questions we passed them in the national. They were validated. And some questions are already used. So in our division. So we use this to increase critical thinking and draw on knowledge of our students in real-world problem solving. So how do we make questions based on the Pisa? So typically we follow the levels how students answer a question. So we have different levels. Level 1 questions are questions where students have one idea about the subject. In this type of question, the learner focuses on the problems and uses only one piece of relevant data. So that is the level 1. They have only one idea about the problems. So while level 2, they have what we call several ideas about the subject. So they can answer in different ways based on their understanding. At the end, they have, or the answer will be obtained. So at the end result is the same. And of course, the level 3 type of question is a question where student can link ideas to see the big pictures. So here at this level, student can form or relate the available data to form a whole coherent structure. Mostly at this level type of question, it requires strategies for thinking and reasoning. And isn't it, this is the one objective of the Pisa, the thinking and reasoning. So let us have some examples given. These questions were crafted from the Pisa that we have. So we have here the sample questions in grade 7. So this problem is intended for grade 7, wherein the competency is solve problem involving conversion of units of measurement, and it's related to Pisa competency is using mathematical modeling as a lens onto the real world. So for level 1 questions, this is the questions. So during pandemic, John walks from his house to different landmarks. If John's house is surrounded by different landmarks, so refer to the figure, and if the landmarks can be traveled using straight path only, either horizontal or vertical. The question is, what is the distance of the nearest landmark from his house? So here in the level 1, as what we know, there is the students have only one response. So the possible response or the acceptable response here is school, based on the given figure here. The school is the nearest landmark to Jim's house, and it is 3 units away. Since conversion of units is required here, so 3 units is equals to 300 meters. Now, so for level 2 with the same figure, supposing Jones traveled to hospital and market yesterday. So how long he traveled from his house to these 2 places and going back to his house. So here, the student can answer the question in different ways. So it's either at this level, student can answer either he will start from John's house to the hospital and market, or from John's house to the market and hospital. So in the end, the same answer will be computed. And that is 1,800 meters or 1.8 kilometers. So this is the question level 2 questions. Now for level 3 questions, we can now relate the problem to the given figure. So if John can travel from his home to the building in any path or direction, so we disregard the straight path. So sketch the shortest possible route he can use and explain why. So again, using the figure here, since in this type of question, student now will able to find ways to the shortest possible route by applying different information, scale drawing, and some Pythagorean theorem to compute the actual length. So the questions belong to the space and shape content area, which encompasses a wide range of phenomena that are encountered everywhere. So if you will going to look at here, so most of the time we are encountering, or most of the time our students encountering this type of questions. So it encourages the students to make a what we call pattern that represents an object with real shape as well with representations. So this is the possible answer that a student can give in this type of problem. Now, another example of question is about statistics. So let us have the level 1 question. The graph shows the enrollment data of Camachiles National High School from year 2016 to 2020. So here is the graph. So the competency under here is it uses appropriate graphs to represent organized data, pie chart, bar graph, line graph, histogram, and ogive. So the Pisa equivalent of this question is understanding variation as the heart of statistics. So the graph shows here is given. So the student here will answer the question, what year the school has the highest number of enrollees? So in the level 1, as what we know, there is only one usually acceptable answer here, and that is year 2020. Now, for level 2 questions, so we can use this type of question. So student will determine if the given statement about the graph is true or false. So the questions belong to the data content category, which includes recognizing the place of variation in process. So here, if you will going to observe, it involves employing mathematical concepts, procedures, and reasoning because the student has to recognize and identify. So the given statement, whether it is true or false, and then provide a what we call a mathematical structure to explain and contextualize the given statement. So possibly the acceptable response here are false, true, true, and true. Okay, hopefully you can understand the question number 2. Now for question number 3 or the level 3, wherein the students will relate the problem to the given figure. So what can you conclude on the enrollment of the given bar graph? So for level 3 questions, here student will use his ability to analyze and interpret data. At this level, the student will construct, they will going to create an analysis, explanation, and conclusions based on their interpretation. That's why, if you notice, it is also like creating. So here, the acceptable responses are given. Now, let us go to the grade 10. So the competency for grade 10 is solve problems on circle. So the Pisa competency equivalent here is recognizing functional relationship between quantities. So the questions is like this. So the distances between any two center of the 3 circular water tanks that are externally tangent to each other are 5, 6, and 7 feet. So find the perimeter of the triangle form. So here is the triangle form. So the acceptable response here is we simply add the 3. So therefore it is 18 feet. Now for the level 2, so given the same figure, so the distance between any two center of the 3 circular water tanks that are externally tangent to each other are 5, 6, and 7 feet. So the question is find the radius of the biggest tank. Here, we need to make some what we call an equations so that we can solve the radius of the biggest tank. So in this process, the student can answer the question using system of linear equations or other possible ways that may lead to the answer. So our answer here is 4 feet. So for level 3 questions, so same given figure, if the 3 tanks have the same height and the biggest tank can hold 645 cubic feet when full, so how much water does the smallest tank can hold, assuming it is full? So again, we can answer this by relating the question number 2. So then after that, we use the question number 2 to get their common height. So they can apply this insight and understand along with the mastery of different formulas. Here we use formulas for the volume and the relationship to develop new approaches and strategies for answering these questions. So these are the samples that we have. So to summarize what we discussed here today, so the only problem here is so that we can crack Pisa is we need to make an authentic and effective assessment. So the question is, so what makes a test item authentic and effective? So again, according to Prof. Marilyn Balagtas of the Philippine Normal University, so test items are authentic and effective if, first, it aims for assessment of high-level cognitive behaviors, from application to creation of knowledge. At this level, so they are complex, include low-level cognitive behavior. Second is, of course, they should be contextualized or metacognitive knowledge to stimulate real-life situations. Third is, it should be personalized and realistic to be meaningful to the person being assessed. And of course, it should be allow transfer of knowledge gained in school to real world situation or context. Actually, this is the last part of my presentation. Okay, so these are my references. Now, allow me, if time permits, I will going to give you the assessment, the type of assessment that we follow in our schools. So usually, this will take only 5 minutes. So most of the time, we design our assessment, which is patterned to the MELTS. But now we are developing some questions that are patterned now on the Pisa. So we are doing that probably after the seminars that we have. So we will going to focus more on the developing of questions that are patterned in the Pisa. So students were answering the assessment through Google Form or other online apps for assessment. So we are using different forms of applications. We have also our modular type of assessment where students answer assessment using the pencil and paper test. So for those under modular, we explain them in the using the pre-chat because not all students have able to connect in their internet. Then these are examples of our assessment. So we use formative assessment to determine the learning progress of our students. And I know most of the teachers in the Philippines, we are using a formative assessment. So we use also the exit slip. So this is another form of assessment to our students wherein the exit slips will give us what we will going to do in our next topic. Either we will going to make remediation because here the students will write 3 things about they learn, 2 things about they want to learn, and 1 questions they want to ask. So of course, just like other schools, we create videos and upload it in our official Facebook account, the Matalino Club. So here, we also ask the questions of what they have learned from the video, what part of the lesson they find it easy, and what part of the lesson they find it difficult. So this is our examples of formative assessment analysis. So to determine the least learned and the most learned competencies. So here are our examples of analysis. So this is for numeracy test. So, and these are the most learned and least learned competencies. So we follow also what we call a formative assessment. So especially on the part of students, we are following the students and we provide remediation if necessary. Then we create videos aside from teacher. So students also, especially those who are considered intelligent students, they are creating also videos and help those students who have difficulty in given competency. Then we help them to form an assessment. So we have different projects also, just like other division. So an example of this is the project basic. This is a form of assessment that promotes the higher or increasing the computation ability of our students. Then we have also what we call this format of giving an instruction to our students. So we use different form of communications. Then plus we do have an intervention in mathematics, especially those who left behind on their competencies. So there are some students who left behind, so we provide them what we call interventions. So another part, we have an assessment by performance task. Okay, most of the time, what have they learned, they will going to perform in this type of task. So we use centralized performance here, task to maximize the student learning. So this is another form of assessment wherein we maximize the learning or what the students learn in their previous competency. Then these are examples of our performance tasks. Okay, so I will just let them. So, and of course, the most important in our performance task is we include what we call an integration to the other interdisciplinary tasks, especially, for example, here in the arts, English, and of course, in the values. So we follow here. This is our format. And these are some of our examples. Then we have here, this is the product, some of the product of our students in the performance task. So here, and of course, most of them, if you will going to observe, most of them, they are localized and they are usually in a form of real-life applications. So here, the students will perform the permutation. So here are some of the examples. So parents also were involved in the performance task so that they can guide and help their children. So we ask the parent to guide them and sign at the end of the performance task. And of course, the last is the portfolio. So wherein reflections are written every week to determine what they learn in particular competency. So sometimes they send it through online or during the schedule of distribution and retrieval of modules of their parent. So these are the examples and the output of our students. So portfolio were graded using rubrics. Here is the sample rubrics that we have. And because of this type of assessment we use, we are glad to present to you our students who won the international competitions like Philippine International Mathematical Olympiad. So we won there, and other competitions like the International Kangaroo Mathematics Competition. So we get some credits and awards on these competitions. I think that is all. Again, thank you for this opportunity to serve and be part of this webinar. So to God all the glory. Thank you. And God bless po.
Yes, thank you so much, Sir Bernardino Gomez, for showcasing to the whole world your best practices when it comes to coming up with an effective assessment in mathematics. All right. I do believe your presentation will go a long way in broadening the experience of our teachers, especially those teachers who are handling mathematics, in adapting those, those exemplar practices that you are showcasing. All right. And
Thank you po.
again, I once thank you for sharing to us a very informative and interesting presentation. All right, and we hope that we get a chance to hear you again in the coming webinar. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's Sir Bernardino Gomez for the topic crafting Pisa assessment in mathematics. All right. So. Sir Bernardino Gomez will be joining us later on for the question and answer portion. But at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed to our online quiz game competition, shout out first to Ma'am Jenny G. Tadaro. IGP is awarding a certificate of lifetime membership in appreciation for your regular attendance for the series of webinars that IGP is conducting online. All right, congratulations, Jenny G. Tadaro. All right, so at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, let's now pave this way for our exciting and fun online quiz game. All right. So the code is 55155. You can now start browsing slido.com. Okay, you get that even code and kindly type in into the window, all right, of slido.com, and then press enter, and then you're good to go, because in just a moment we are going to start with our online quiz game competition. So as of now, we have 183 attendees who managed to join in our quiz competition. And the number keeps on increasing. Okay, so that's 190, now 190, 194, 195. Okay, it keeps increasing. 200. All right. So, all right. So keep on typing the even code for you to get a chance to be part of this online quiz competition. By the way, we will be awarding top 10 lucky players for this particular competition. All right. Okay. And by the way, just to give you a tip, make sure that you can submit your answer as fast as you can. All right, because that's one of the criteria I have noticed as far as Slido.com is concerned. You might have a tiebreaker score. However, Slido will rank you according to the least amount of time that you spend in submitting your answer. So make sure that upon reading the question, submit your answer as fast as you can. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now 313, 319. Oh my goodness. Okay. We are so impressed by the level of engagement our live audience has. All right. Okay. So there are, all right, more participants are keep coming. All right. So we have 356 now. 356 are joining the competition. Okay. So it went up to 366 this time. More participants or players are coming to join with our exciting, fun, and interactive online quiz game competition. IGP is awarding a quiz completion for those top 10 lucky players. All right. So who are those top 10? Those top 10 are those who will provide the most number of correct answers during the said quiz game competition. All right, we are reaching 390 this time. All right, more participants are coming. All right, there you go. So we are now 415 participants on the deck. Okay, so in just a few minutes, we are about to start with our quiz competition. Okay, we are just giving more time to those participants who are still coming in. So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we are now 440, all right, participants for the quiz competition, and it keeps on increasing every second. All right. Again, we appreciate your active participation. We actually feel your level of engagement. It's a real manifestation that you're still there supporting us by joining with our quiz competition. And also, we would appreciate if you can leave us a comment, give us a like. All right, we would appreciate if you can do that one. So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to start with the quiz competition. Number one question, it says, view and use textbooks as resources and teaching tools. Is that true or false? What do you think, folks? All right. And Slido is now processing, tabulating, and analyzing the result of your answer. Let's find out which one is the correct answer. 99% of our attendees said true. And what is the correct answer? Slido says it's true. All right, congratulations. 99% of our live attendees got the correct answer. There you go, the leaderboard showing us the score. All right, number two question. Assessment strategies and tools are option 1, direct observation. Option 2, records. Option 3, attitude surveys. And option 4, all of the above. All right. What do you think, guys, is the most appropriate answer among the choices given? Okay, Slido says the correct answer is, all right, it's all of the above. All right. Congratulations, 80% of our attendees got the correct answer. Next question, that's number 3. Formative assessment can, option 1, be used for learning. Option 2, track learning and make adjustments for diverse learners. Option 3, be used throughout class. And option D, all of the above. All right, there you go. It's now being processed by the Slido. Let's find out again. Which one is the correct answer, Ma? Oh, come on. We're so glad to know that majority of our participants got the correct answer. It's all of the above. All right. So that's the leaderboard we have. Okay. So let's find out later on. Number 4 question. Summative assessment is it option A or option 1 is always worth 60%. Option B is quantitative. Option C, used at the beginning of a lesson. And option D, implemented at the end of the course of study. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Slido, please tell us which one is the correct answer. 91% of our participants said implemented at the end of the course of study. All right, Slido says the correct answer is implemented at the end of the course of study. That's option number 4 or letter D. Again, congratulations. All right, let's now proceed with question number 5. The focus of assessment. Okay, we have the score, the leaderboard showing the score and the top players. All right, Carl Dizon is the leading top player, followed by Kenneth Samia. All right, John Robinson. All right, let's find out that later on. Okay, again. Okay, so there you go. So let's proceed now with question number 6. Digital tools can be used to option A or option 1, create discussion. Option 2, evaluate student progress. Option 3, give student immediate feedback. And option 4, all of the above. All right, there you go. Slido, please tell us which one is the correct answer. That's okay, 97%. Majority of our participants said all of the above. And fortunately, that's the correct answer. Again, congratulations. You're doing a good job, folks. So we have the result of the score on the screen. All right, but before that, let's proceed now with the number 7 question. A teacher, rather, is required by the ministry to use diagnostic assessment tools. Is that true or false? All right. Slido is now processing the result of your answer. And in just a few seconds, Slido will tell us which one is the correct answer. Okay, let's find out. Okay, which of the two options voted by our participants. 94 of our participants said that's true. And that's the correct answer. Again, congratulations. You made it, guys. You made it. All right, so let's now proceed to question number 8. Assessment should focus on measuring option 1, student progress and achievement in relation to standards. Option 2, students' grades in relation to previous years. And option 3, parents' interaction with their kids. And option 4, all of the above. All right, 54 of our participants said all of the above. Okay, come on, tell us, Slido, which one is the correct answer? It's option A, that's student progress and achievement in relation to standards. 46 of our participants got the correct answer. And there you go with the little board showing us the score, the result of your score. But let's proceed now to question number 9. Career assessment tools assess your skills and values to determine best career for you. Is that true or false? Come on, guys. Come on. Go find the right answer. All right. Slido, please tell us which one is the correct answer. 98% of the rest of our participants said, yes, congratulations, guys. You made it. 98%, a majority of our participants got a correct answer. Now, for the last question, which one is not a student assessment? Option A, summative assessment. Option B, formative assessment. And option 3 or C, that's overall assessment. All right, there you go. That's 3, 2, 0, 1. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Slido is now analyzing the result of your score. But the correct answer, according to Slido, is option number 3 or C, that's overall assessment. Fortunately, majority of our participants really got the correct answer. Okay, so let's show you guys the scoreboard. All right. Congratulations to Kenneth Samia being the top scorer for tonight's online quiz game competition. And on the screen, all right, on the screen there you'll see the result, okay, of our online quiz game competition for tonight's webinar. All right, so they are showing you the top 10 lucky winners for tonight. Congratulations, guys, for doing such a good job. All right. Top 10 will actually claim a certificate of quiz completion courtesy of Institute of Global Professionals. All right. All you have to do, guys, is you simply type your complete name in the comment section down below. And if for some reasons you're having a difficulty in accessing the link that will be provided in the comment section down below, better yet, visit IGP website. That's www.eduigp.com. And then once you're landed to that page, and then you will see the instructions on how you could possibly claim and get your certificate of quiz uh, completion. All right. Again, congratulations to our lucky top 10 winners for tonight's quiz game competition. All right, we're back. We're back. All right, we're back on our webinar together with our invited resource speakers. And at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, we have to pave this way for our question and answer segment. All right. Okay, so there you go. Our first question from Hulay Panalo, and this is for Sir Dan. Okay, the question says, for all the project, all numerates that has been implemented in the various schools, which among the project is the best to cater the performance of the pupils in mathematics?
Okay, thank you for this question. So actually, we haven't yet selected the best project, but each project is intended for schools, meaning one project is applicable to one school, not applicable to other schools, something like that one. Okay. So far we haven't yet selected the best one. We have just presented all
Yes.
those projects.
Yes, one size does not fit all.
Yes.
One intervention might work on one situation, but it might not work on the other. Intervention. All right, thank you for that insightful answer from Aureo Teresa this time, and this one is for Sir Bernardino. Sir, how do we encourage and guide those students who find mathematics difficult to learn?
Thank you, sir, for the questions. Most of the time, we are experiencing this kind of students. So most of the students, we know that most of the students have difficulty in learning math. So usually, we give them remediation. We start from their levels. So up to the time, they can catch up to the level of their classmates. Most of the time, in our school, sir, what we do is we separate, during the face-to-face, we separate the level of the students. For example, we find it non-numerate, so we put them in one section, and then we have a program intended to them aside from the regular program. So we set another time wherein we give them different activities because we believe that learning math is also a skill. So that's why for us to develop that skills, we need to provide them enough activities suited on their level. That is how do we encourage our students, especially those who have difficulty in learning math. Thank you.
Thank you for that very insightful answer, sir, for coming up with an intervention on guiding the students for them to love mathematics and for those who are actually I mean, having a difficulty in understanding mathematics subject. All right. And this time from Manolita Ramas Olego. And this is for Sir Caicedo. Sir, how do you improve foundational literacy and numeracy? What strategies work for struggling learners or students with learning disabilities?
Okay, so thank you very much, Ma'am Manolita, for that question. That is somewhat tricky in my part. So, to improve the foundational literacy, of course, these two go hand in hand, literacy and numeracy. So, with those different projects that we have presented, uh, these two specific topics are incorporated. So for struggling learners or students with learning disabilities, we also have, of course, we also have handicapped learners, sped learners, something like that one. Uh, in our province in Bataan, we only have one sped. We have one sped class in Dinalupihan, wherein the students are having online class, of course, with the help of their parents. And then same materials are given, digitized, modular also with the assistance of learning facilitators or their parents, something like that one. So to overcome this one, so we do not stop giving them interventions so that these problems on learning mathematics the hard way will be at least minimized. And then we think of other strategies like calling them on phone call, learning, and then what else? Also in Dinalupihan, just like the one that I have presented in my PowerPoint presentation, one of the slides is taken from that school. So for this is uh, somewhat difficult, but we do not stop giving strategies interventions to at least minimize or lessen the difficulty that some learners are facing.
Sir, may I answer also these questions because
Yes, sir.
I am
Yes.
a master teacher. So
Mhm.
in our case, I believe that for us to lessen the learning difficulty of the students, we need to start with the basics. Any skills will develop if the students know the basics. So we start from the list, for example, on the four fundamentals, on the addition, on the very basic. Once the students are able to learn that basic, then we can go on the higher level. That's like, I believe, in hierarchy of learning the skills. So start from the basic, then afterwards, so we provide the basic by using different games, different interventions. Then from then, once the students learn the basic, then they can go further. Sir. I think that is the strategies that we can do. And we do that in our school. So we give them the basic program, our grade 9 Numerate 7, and we found out it is very effective. So when they enter grade 8, so we can able to give them to the regular section. Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir. So the same
Yes.
also with some of the schools here, sir, in Bataan.
Okay, very well said. Thank you both for taking the question and for sharing your, for giving your special attention to our learners who are physically handicapped. We have to make sure that they will be left behind when it comes to ensuring the continuity of their education. Shout out for that. All right. So let's proceed with our question this time from Espanol Riza to Sir Dan. Which project is most effective type of project for modular type of learning, or which one
All
is the
right.
most effective type of
Okay. Okay.
yes,
Thank you,
yes.
Ma'am Risa, for your question. So the title. the projects that are presented are just titles, but as you can see, they have common objectives. Of course, for the students to be numerates, from non-numerates to numerates, and for modular, okay. So all the projects that I have showed to you, like Project ACAP, there are several of them. Uh, Applicable for using modular type of learning. So if the project uses modules, then that's it. Of course, with the help of the facilitators, parents, neighbors, or anybody who can assist these learners. There are so many projects there, we cannot go
All
back
right, thank you for
and select them one by one. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. One thing for sure, all those projects are all good in responding to the problems that we are facing right now with the students. All right. Thank you, sir, for taking that question. This time from Noeme Manuel. And this is going out to Sir Dan Caicedo. Sir, which project is the most effective and applicable in our current situation, basing on the projects that you have presented?
Okay, so thank you, Ma'am Noemi. So the all those projects that I have presented, actually those are just some. There are still other projects that I haven't presented because we will be running out of time. So all those projects that I have presented were used and applicable during this time of pandemic. So I think the presentation will be available in the site. You can just browse them.
Okay. What is important is that those projects that you've mentioned are proven to be effective, all right,
Yes,
in
yes,
responding
yes,
to the
yes.
yes, in responding to the numeracy problems of our students here in the Philippines. Hector De Vera, okay, his question is going out to Sir Bernardino. Sir, how are we, or how are we going to minimize the chance of cheating for an online formative assessment?
Okay, sir. Thank you for that question. Actually, first, we know that when it comes in the online type of assessment, there are several ways we can lessen the cheating. In our case, what I do is I give them different set of questions. So I use application wherein the questions will be the shuffle. They will going to change based on their numbers. Aside from that, there is a time limit that we use wherein the student can only answer this question within allotted of time. But for me, the best way to minimize the chance of cheating is give them different set of questions so that the students will not able to cheat to one another. Because if you give them one type of question only, then there is a higher possibility of asking questions from one another. In that case, so they can
So
cheat.
that
But
means yes.
if you will going to give different set type of tests, so you can listen. I think we cannot. You are correct, sir. We cannot remove it. We can minimize only. So that is based on my experience, I do that. I give time using applications in the Google form. So I give them only, for example, 1 hour, or it depends on the difficulty of the assessment. Then second, I give them not multiple choice. Instead, most of my questions are in the form of solution, wherein they will going to
Yes.
upload their solution. Then I talk to them. If you have the same solution with your classmates, then uh, you are wrong. But not totally. I give them points because I don't want to have
um,
them the same solution. So I talk to them, give another solution.
all
So that is
right.
how I
Okay.
minimize the cheating. Thank you.
I would like to add, Sir
Yes,
Bernardino,
sir.
Sir Bernie.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes, yes, sir. Yes,
in
yes, yes,
our
sir.
case, as one of the education program supervisors in Bataan, we sometimes attend to online classes, especially if there are assessment. So I think monitoring is important in in having somewhat reliable result of the assessment. So so follow up, monitor, constant monitoring, something like that one.
Yes, thank you for taking that question. But I'm quite intrigued with how Sir Bernardino was able to provide different set of questions for a number of students. We will upload for you for doing such a very gargantuan task. All right.
Thank you,
Don't
sir.
you find it hassle in
In
providing
my
different
case,
sets of
sir, of
questions
course,
for?
in my case, sir, of course, it is laborious, but of course, we need to do this in order to improve the learning skills of computation of our students. So
All
we need to
right.
sacrifice. In the end, that is
Yes.
for the improvement of our students. This is the reason why we are here, to help our students. So we need to sacrifice. In the end, we are compensated by the government, sir. Thank you.
Very well said, sir. And the self fulfillment that you'll be experiencing upon doing that kind of initiative. All right. So, yes, what we are seeing on the screen is the certification link. All right. All you have to do is to simply click that one for you to be redirected to the page where you can actually download your certificate. All right. Uh, Definitely, certificate code is not required. You can go directly. All right. If you can actually find the link in the pinned comment, it's being pinned in the comment section down below. But if all else fails, okay, we are suggesting you guys to visit www.eduigp.com to claim your certificates. All right. You can claim your certificates tomorrow also for those who cannot do tonight. So don't you worry. All right. Okay, so at this time, we would like to express our hearty thanks and appreciation on behalf of the Institute of Global Professionals to our invited speakers for sharing us their time and join us for tonight's webinar and for sharing their brilliant ideas and insightful uh, insights about the topic Project All Numerates and Assessment Tools. All right. We look forward to have them hearing again, giving us another presentation in the days to come. All right. So we are now showing you guys the new design of our certificates. So you can just see for yourself how gorgeous is our certificate. All right. That we will be giving out. Okay. By the IGP. All right. So this is the certificate that you'll be receiving. Okay. Once you click the link, and then you will automatically download that kind of certificate. And we would like to invite you guys for another round of webinar happening on July 10, 2021. All right. Joining us for that webinar is Dr. Clarence D. Hakuman and Dr. Arnold Alvaro, all the way from Philippines, for the webinar Applied Research and Action Research. All right. So kindly please mark your calendar and also save the date on July 12 for our upcoming webinar entitled Teaching Techniques in Mathematics. All right. We invited Rosalie G. Centino and Ma'am Armelin de la Cruz, Principe, to share us their insight about teaching techniques in mathematics. And by the way, on that day, all right, IGP is leveling up because we are going to simultaneously broadcasting our live webinar on FB and on our YouTube channel. So you can actually decide for yourself which one do you feel comfortable in joining us. Is it on IFB Live or in YouTube channel? All right. By the way, I was able to mention earlier that IGP was able to launch its own YouTube channel. It's Institute of Global Professionals. And kindly please save the date on July 14 for our upcoming webinar on failure is the biggest teacher. All right, Dr. Sima Nege, Dr. Manoj Saigal, and Dr. Shunila Joy Chauhan, all the way from India, will be joining us for that particular webinar. All right. And then more upcoming webinars. All right. Webinar on special education, transition to new normal from classroom to class home, taking place on July 16, 2021. And we have Ma'am Veronica M. Galesha. We have Ma'am Millet Sarmiento and Ma'am Mary Ann Batoler, all the way from Philippines, will be joining us on that particular live free webinar, also happening at IGP. All right. Again, that's July 16. Please mark your calendar and save the date. All right. And then on July 18, 2021, our upcoming webinar on modern ELT classroom. All right. And then we will be joining us by Miss Gada Mahmoud Karshta, all right, from Palestine, and Mr. Feruz Akbarav, okay, from Uzbekistan. They will be gracing our webinar on July 18 for modern ELT classroom. More upcoming webinars coming up, all right? Okay. Global Impact of Tourism, that's happening on July 20, 2021. And Ma'am Concepcion Mendoza and Ma'am Maria Teresa Bernabe, all the way from Philippines, will also join us, okay, for that webinar. Do expect for that one on July 20. All right. Save the date on July 22 for our upcoming live webinar, free live webinar on educators' leadership skills. All right. Sir Victorio Crescentilo Juan and Sir John Wesley P. Valdez will also be joining us to share their brilliant ideas on the topic educators' leadership skills. More upcoming webinar coming up. All right. All right. Okay. We also invite you on July 24 for our upcoming live webinar on scientific research, writing, and reviewing. We managed to invite Felix Arcela Jr. and Sir Rex A. Lim, PhD, all the way from Philippines. All right. And then we've got another one, I think. Okay. On July 26 is a webinar on magic of logic. All right. Dr. Cesar R. Cairo and Sir Paul Gary P. Abelio will also grace, okay, our webinar on July 26 for the topic magic of logic. So please mark your date. Okay. On July 28, 2021, a webinar on special topics in general mathematics will also be conducted, and we'll be joined by Ma'am Karine Dahay Karmaran and Sir Christian Dave Makahilos Balatiro, also all the way from the Philippines. All right. That sounds so interesting. And on July 30, 2021, a webinar on global hospitality planning with modern travelers will be conducted. And we will be joined by Sir Juan Martin Guash and Sir Professor MD Sharlar Parvez of Bangladesh. Okay, Sir Juan Martin Guas is also from the Philippines. All right, that sounds interesting. And also, please do watch out for August 1, this coming August 1, for a webinar on empowerment through education. Dr. Lulwa Al-Mutiak from Bahrain and Ambassador or AMB Dana Hasilom from Trinidad and Tobago. Ambassador, I think this is Ambassador, correct me if I'm wrong, Esther Okoro from Nigeria will be joining us on August 12 for the webinar Empowerment Through Education. As I was saying earlier, we're being backed by a prominent international speakers from all around the world to share us their knowledge on the topic that you have actually recommended. And by the way, on August 3, 2021, another webinar will be conducted on setting career goals. All right, Dr. Preeti Kachru from Singapore, and also Dr. Isha Mansingh from South Africa, and we have Ma'am Tiuta. Okay, I hope I got it right. Avdel from this one is from Albania. Okay, will also be joining us. All right, for the upcoming webinar setting career goals happening on August 3, 2021, and on August 5, a webinar on self-determination leads to success will be conducted by the IGP, and joining us on that webinar is Dr. Hasna Bochala from Morocco, and Gazala Jabin from United Kingdom, and Ma'am Barbara J. Hopkinson from the United States. All right. So please do save the date. And a webinar on transcending optimism and research-based practices in education will be conducted on August 7, 2021. Sir Alberto M. Dizon and Ma'am Jasmine Joy Dizon, Mr. Daniel T. Dizon, all the way from Philippines, will grace our webinar on that date. All right. Another upcoming webinar is Transforming the Future Through Education, and that will take place on August 9, 2021. All right. Lou and Jen, that's Jen from South Africa. Okay, we have Ma'am Ambassador Raha Nagari Chanturil, okay, from Tunisia. And also we have Dr. Shaul Mokhreji, okay, from India, will be joining us, okay, on August 9 for the webinar Transforming, okay. And then on August 11, 2021, we have a webinar on developing resilience, all right. Dr. Randy Ward from United States, and Ma'am Beatriz Yesolo from Nigeria, and Ma'am Rashmi Saha from India will also share their brilliant ideas on that topic, developing resilience, happening on August 11, 2021. All right, so please do not forget to mark your calendar. And by August 13, a webinar on leading change through uncertainty, okay, will be conducted, sponsored by the IGP, and we will be joined by Ma'am Laurel Sinati Arcles from the Philippines, and Ma'am Mehrin Mia Kasemji from South Africa. I'm really having difficulty in pronouncing their names. So I'm really awfully sorry for that one. Dr. Tanya Simons, all the way from the United States, will be joining us, okay, coming August 13 for that webinar, Leading Change Through. All right. And happening on August 13, 15 rather, 2021 is the webinar on transformational leadership. All right. Dr. Leonora Wimberly Pedersen, all the way from United States, get together with Sir Harpal Singh from United Kingdom, and also Ma'am Verash Ser Cleason, I think from South Africa, will also joining us on that day. Okay, so please, guys, do not forget to save the date. Okay, and happening on August 17 is a webinar on leading for success. Dr. Shamila Ramjawan from South Africa, and Ma'am Jaya Sajnani from United Kingdom, and Ma'am Delia Fonte from Ecuador will also be taking part on that said webinar taking place on August 17. It's all about leading for success. All right. So again, guys, do not forget to save the date for you to get informed about our upcoming webinars. Okay, so once you become a regular member and attendance of our webinar, IGP will be giving you away a certificate of lifetime membership. And also happening in August 21 is a webinar on achieving success through innovation. All right. Mom Love Charmaine from United Arab Emirates, Sir Kubos Visser from South Africa, and Sir Christina Skeller from Croatia will be part of that webinar taking place on August 21. So please do not forget to save the date, mark your calendar to join us on that upcoming series of webinars in a row. And guys, this is for free. Okay. And also, do not forget that on August 23, we'll be having a webinar on leadership in education. Dr. Babalwa Fatie from South Africa. I'm really sorry for if I happen to mispronounce those names. Dr. Robbie Bakshi Kundi from Switzerland. And we have Martina Kosek from Croatia will also take part on that particular date to share their brilliant ideas on leadership and education. So we have a wide array of webinars in store for you guys. And then happening on August 25th is the webinar on social emotional teaching and learning management. All right. Ma'am Rania Lampu from Greece, Sir Muhammad Zubair from India, and we have Ma'am Marina Kharitunashvili from Georgia will also joining us on August 25th for the webinar Social Emotional Teaching. All right. And more upcoming webinars coming up. All right. So there you go. We have listed. All right. We've got another one. By August 31, ladies and gentlemen, we have another webinar coming up, and that's Young Leaders Changing the World. We have we invited 4 speakers from different parts of the world. We have Dr. Daksha Ramjawan, all the way from South Africa. We have Ma'am Emily Nguyen from United Kingdom. And we have Sir Kelly Chetty from South Africa. And we have Anna Huang from Vietnam. Okay. They will take part in that particular webinar on August 31 for our webinar entitled Young Leaders Changing the World. And on September 7, 2021, ladies and gentlemen, we are launching a webinar entitled ICT Uses in Everywhere. And we managed to invite 3 prominent speakers all the way from India. We have Ma'am Nade Jain, Sir Yogesh Sonawani, and Ma'am Harsha Chavan. I hope I got it right. Okay, correction is under your care. I'm really awfully sorry if I happen to mispronounce your name, but you know. All right, so more upcoming webinars coming up. Okay, so that's 156. We've got another one, ladies and gentlemen. Happening on September 11, 2021, we have a webinar on supporting learning through interactive learning tools. Okay, we have invited speakers all from Philippines. We have Sir Arturo De Leon, Sir Buenavides Gerondo Jr., and Sir Norman Lanes. All right, they will be joining us to share their insights on that. Okay, so we're showing you again the gorgeous and beautiful certificate that you'll be receiving by attending our webinar for tonight. So I think all is well that ends well. Okay, let's call it a day. But before that, all right, by the way, we are now showing you the certificate of quiz completion that we'll be receiving by our top 10 players who managed to perform better tonight So we've got here the certificate of membership. By the way, if you wish to be a member, and then all you have to do is you simply find the link that's being pinned in the comment section down below, especially before our webinar is about to start. It keeps on popping up, and then click that one, and then you'll be having the instructions on how you could be a member of a certificate of, how you could be a member of IGP. All right, it's a pleasure having you guys joining this growing community. And then we have here the template of certificate of lifetime membership. All right, for in appreciation for those participants who are actually having a regular attendance. All right, for the series of webinars in a row that the IGP is conducting, if you happen to attend those webinars regularly, IGP is so generous enough to give you this beautiful and gorgeous certificate that you're now seeing on the screen. All right, this is just a sample. All right, so you can see now the new design. Okay, it's quite different from the previous certificate that IGP is providing. This one is quite attractive. It's quite beautiful. All right. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so good day. According to Sir Kelvin Linato, good day. We would also like to inform that with a huge number of participants, all right, there you go. I managed to lost it. So that's it. All right. So at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, again, we would like to express our heartfelt thanks and appreciation to all our invited speakers for taking time off of their busy schedules and join us tonight for today's or tonight's webinar, and for sharing their brilliant and everything, okay, from the wisdom and knowledge our speakers share with us. And also, we would like to express our heartfelt appreciation to all of our live audience tonight. Okay, we felt the level of engagement that you have, and also we would like to thank you for the patience that you've shown right from the start down to the end of this webinar. Okay, we owe you. The success of IGP is dependent on the level of participation that you have shown, okay, during this series of webinars. And so for that, IGP, on behalf of IGP, thank you so much for showing us your support. It's a pleasure to know that you're still there, guys, supporting us. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been your moderator for tonight's webinar. My name is Gafor Panimbang, an assistant professor 4 from Adjunct Memorial Polytechnic State College. All right, saying thank you for joining us for tonight's webinar, and see you in the next webinar. All right, have a good night ahead of you. All right, so goodbye.